Instead, he suddenly hit the gas and sped off while the officer was still standing right at the door. The officer was dragged along the road for a stretch before he could let go. A pursuit was launched immediately. LaForce swerved the van in and out of traffic at high speed, creating serious danger for other road users. The officer pursued closely behind. To force the vehicle to stop and prevent a more serious accident, the officer used his patrol car to ram the suspect's van. As soon as the van was rammed to a stop, several other officers converged and surrounded it. They broke the window glass to force LaForce out since he refused to open the door or cooperate. It was an ordinary afternoon in the city of Brooklyn, Ohio. A police officer on patrol decided to pull over a van for a check. As he approached the driver's side door, the officer recognized the driver as Thomas LaForce, 34, a man he had previously suspected of involvement in a store theft just a week earlier. Under Ohio law, police are permitted to stop a vehicle based on reasonable suspicion arising from prior identification of a suspect, and may order the driver to step out of the vehicle for safety purposes and to clarify the driver's conduct. The officer began questioning him directly. "Are you headed to Lowe's to steal more stuff?" LaForce firmly denied it. "That's not me. I've never stolen from Lowe's." The officer didn't believe him and insisted, "Get out of the car now." LaForce refused to comply. Instead, he suddenly hit the gas and sped off while the officer was still standing right at the door. The officer was dragged along the road for a stretch before he could let go. This constituted an assault on an officer in the performance of official duties, a very serious offense under Ohio law, known as felonious assault on a peace officer. A pursuit was launched immediately. LaForce swerved the van in and out of traffic at high speed, creating serious danger for other road users. The officer pursued closely behind. To force the vehicle to stop and prevent a more serious accident, the officer used his patrol car to ram the suspect's van. Under the law, when a suspect flees at high speed after having dragged an officer, using a ramming maneuver to stop the vehicle is considered a reasonable and accepted measure to protect public safety. As soon as the van was rammed to a stop, several other officers converged and surrounded it. They broke the window glass to force LaForce out since he refused to open the door or cooperate. LaForce was pulled from the vehicle and put face down on the ground. Blood ran from cuts caused by the broken glass. Officers quickly checked him for weapons and restrained him in handcuffs. Meanwhile, another person who had been with him fled on foot and was pursued separately. LaForce was taken to Metro Health Hospital for treatment of his injuries. 2 officers sustained minor injuries and were released after evaluation. According to the indictment, LaForce faces charges of felonious assault on a police officer and fleeing and eluding police. These are felony charges that could result in a lengthy prison sentence. From a legal standpoint, the officer's actions throughout this incident fell within lawful bounds and proper procedure. The stop, based on identification of a prior suspect, was grounded in reasonable suspicion. Ordering the driver out of the vehicle was a legitimate exercise of police authority given that suspicion. When LaForce chose to drag the officer and flee, he turned a routine stop into a violent assault against a law enforcement officer performing his duties. The pursuit, the ramming maneuver, and the breaking of the window to make the arrest were necessary measures proportionate to the level of danger the suspect posed. The law permits the use of reasonable force to stop a fleeing individual who threatens public safety. The incident illustrates the danger posed when a person chooses to resist by using a vehicle as a weapon. The officer was dragged along the road, other drivers' lives were endangered, and in the end the suspect faced serious legal consequences. The law protects those who enforce it. When someone assaults a police officer and flees, being pursued forcefully, subdued with strong measures, and charged severely is the natural and lawful outcome. The officers acted appropriately to protect themselves and the community, bringing the situation under control without allowing it to escalate into something worse.